Hey family. So today's topic is about dealing with loneliness after separation and how you can effectively do that. So it's very interesting because I just split with my partner 2 weeks ago. And it's every single person that's joined the group since has had separation or divorce, and it's very interesting, or relationship issues. It is so funny how our energetic, our vibration attracts the same to us. I mean, it is a magical workings in this universe. I have this happen again and again and again, where when I heal something within myself, the next 10 or 20 clients will be dealing with the same thing. Does anyone have that experience in their life where, you know, they went through something and then a friend calls and that friend is like dealing with the exact same thing as them? It is magical. And seeing the synchronicities in the world, it can really help, for me at least, it really helps me to feel a sense of hope and a sense of trust that I'm on the right path. Okay? So, dealing with loneliness. So first of all, I want to say a little story about this, is that in my life, I have dealt with decades of loneliness because I had trauma when I was really, really young with abandonment at age 3. And I had a sexual abuse and abandonment, and it created a love addiction within myself. And what I mean by that is I was constantly seeking love and worthiness and completion from a partner. And if I didn't have that partner in my life, I would feel very empty and very lonely, excruciatingly lonely, and deeply, deeply flawed, like there was something wrong with me, that I didn't have a partner to complete me, okay? So, and for me, it was so painful that it created a 14-year alcohol addiction, and I literally would feel the loneliness, and I would be in a bar in a second flat, okay? Because I couldn't deal with the pain of it. So it was interesting when I split with my partner this time, and you know, he is an amazing man and is the best relationship I've ever had. And 90% of us, the two of us, were very compatible. And the reason really it didn't work was more of my body didn't have what it needed to feel okay or safe because of my abuse. And it was like my body was giving me a hell no, even though my mind was like, this is not bad. So it was challenging. And the craziest thing is that after we broke up, because I had shifted just before we started dating in the first place, I had got to the place where I felt 100% okay with being by myself. That I felt like completely healed around feeling like I was the soulmate to myself. There's a teacher, Byron Katie, and she says, it's really funny, there was a talk, and one person asked her, so why do we get married? And she said, to realize that you are the love of your life. Right? So the interesting thing, and I'm just giving this as, before I give you a few tips, is when my partner and I split, I felt sad, obviously, that him and I aren't together. And Rick, if you're watching this, like, my heart breaks, and I just love you, like, just love you to the end of this world, and you and I are forever as friends and amigos. But I also felt very complete within myself, and I didn't have that loneliness come up because I felt like I had already established that soul connection with myself. Okay, so what I want to share with everybody here in the group, and I'm not saying, first of all, I'm better than you, or, you know, where you're at is not okay, and that's a joke. Okay, there's no better than, even ever. There's no better than in this world. But what happens, so for anyone that's dealing with this split or a divorce and it's heartbreaking, the first thing I want to ask you is, what do you do when you get that loneliness within yourself? Okay? How do you process that? And I've asked a lot of people in the group coming in. Some people responded, some people not. That's okay. But what do you do when that loneliness comes up? Okay? Because a lot of the times, we've been taught as kids we haven't been taught to be emotionally available with ourselves. And let me tell you what I mean by that. As a kid, when you feel sad or you feel lonely, I want everyone to comment below, when you were a kid, okay, how did your parents deal with your sadness? Okay, did they nurture it? Did they acknowledge it? Did they give you a timeout if you were having a temper tantrum? What did they do when you felt some of these feelings? Okay, because how your parents respond to a lot of your emotions as a kid is going to be how you respond to yourself as an adult, if that makes sense to people. Okay, because unfortunately, even if when you try to get rid of your parents, be far away from them, they live in your mind. So the key is these feelings of loneliness can be exacerbated if you don't acknowledge them. So if you're a person that busies them away, that eats food, that like has, you know, Twinkie love affairs, whatever that is for you, but your mind just ruminates. Anybody have that feeling when they get a separation and you're thinking about your ex, thinking, going through this, that, and it's very hard to sleep? The minute you're ruminating, the one tip I want to give you, the minute you're ruminating, it's a sign that you need to go in to your body. You need to go into your body. You need to ask yourself, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? And if you're feeling lonely, usually the need when you're feeling lonely is for attention. It's for presence. It's for someone to be there for you. So the very first person that has to be there for you is yourself. So if you decide to ignore your loneliness, you are ignoring yourself. You know, you are abandoning yourself. It doesn't matter if you eventually find a partner, because what you will be good at is ignoring yourself. Anybody feel lonely when they're married? That's what I'm talking about, because marriage and relationship does not heal a lonely heart, a lonely or a broken heart. If you want a partner to even be emotionally available to you, you have to be emotionally available to yourself, because you need to tell that partner what you need. But if you don't even know how to give it to yourself, you're not going to be able to instruct a partner to give it to you. Okay? So it starts with you. Okay? It starts with you and your presence and your understanding and empathy. Sweetheart, you're lonely? Be as lonely as you want. Be lonely. Be lonely. I'm so sorry you feel this way. So for anybody that is interested in, and they need help navigating through this tough time, becoming the soulmate to yourself, you know, attracting eventually more, starting to notice the red flags in future partners after this. Like, what did I not get? What did I have to learn from this divorce? What did I have to learn from this separation? So I do not attract it again into my life, and I have to learn the lesson again. That's the problem. When we blame our partners for everything, we are negating responsibility, because we need to be responsible so that we don't allow in the same things, or we start to need to be, you know, curious about what went wrong. Okay, so if you are interested, book a breakthrough call with me. My Breakdown to Breakthrough program, this is what it's designed for. Okay, it's really about relationships. It's about healing your emotional pain. It's about healing your childhood trauma, you know, going into, you know, the muck and seeing what's there. It's connecting it back to the childhood, and also learning, yes, how, like, the art of peaceful communication, the art of knowing what to do, emotional mastery, like getting the needs met with yourself and then getting them met from somebody else. Okay? Book in for a free breakthrough call. It's all possible. I'm telling you, I would have never gone through a relationship breakup. And sweetheart, if you're watching, it doesn't mean I love you any less because I'm not feeling sad. You know, it's just that when I came in, I felt like a powerhouse. I felt like I had finally shifted this endless seeking for someone to complete me. And it feels like liberation. Big love. Happiness. Talk to you soon.